Okay, my friends, here it is. The Saturday morning live stream at the Garden Like a Viking headquarters. So as you can tell, I am using new software. So we finally got the streaming service or the streaming thing done. So hopefully everyone can see me. There's gonna be some technical difficulties during this broadcast, but we got to get them hammered out. Okay. So can you guys see me? So can you see me? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up or give me a something. Because it says here 0. Oh, wait, now it says 67. Okay, now, okay. So guys, let me know. Can you hear me? I can see all the comments. See, I'm using StreamYard now. So see, live stream. See, right here, live stream. And right here is the banner that I had to make. And here is like a sample logo. That's what it's going to look like. Okay. Sounds great. Okay, good. Thank you guys. Let me do the sound check real quick. Okay. Mushrooms. It captures such a bigger, broader a spectrum of stuff, this camera or this setup. So yeah, likewise, you guys make sure that you can tell me, or make sure that you can see me. Tell me any feedback, okay? During this broadcast, we need to know the feedback. I tried yesterday, and you guys on the Thrive Tribe, I went live on the Thrive Like a Viking channel, and all you guys, 20, 30, 40 of you guys are helping me, which is great, so I really appreciate it. We got some things worked out. But man, for someone like me, it takes, I'm not into the tech. I only use the tech as much as I need to be a tool to achieve the ends. And the ends is building the brand and communicating, connecting with you guys. That's the objective. Sharing the knowledge and connecting with you guys. So it takes like all day for me to learn, okay, how do you stream using StreamYard? Okay, and then how do you make this little graphic up top? It takes 2.5 hours to do that. I mean, all day. It's just crazy. So my mind doesn't work like a computer. It just doesn't work like that. That's why I was never good at math and things like that, because I just don't care. So anyways, okay, good. I'm seeing you guys. Okay, yes. And guys, not right after, but at 2:45 Eastern time, we're going to be on the Urban Gardeners podcast again today. So think of some questions or think of some things that we don't normally talk about on here, and let's get into it on the Urban Gardener podcast starting at about 2:45 Eastern time. That's when we're going to be on there. Okay, that's 11:45, I think, Pacific time. So, yeah, okay. Thanks, Teats Treats. Says the Viking logo is nice. Now, that's not my exact one. That's just a generic one off of Canva, but it's going to be something like that. Easy to see. I mean, what do you guys think? I want it to be something pretty much like that. Very close to being like that. Even though, yes, I'm well aware that Vikings never historically actually wore horned helmets like that. We know that. Now, historically, that was a smear campaign back in the day. That was a propaganda machine back in the day in the 1100s. That's what propaganda looked like, saying that they wore horned helmets like devils, like demons, to paint a worse picture of them. So we know this now. But hey, everybody thinks horned helmet Viking, so it's all good. So yes, Urban Gardener is in the house. Yes, we're going to be on there here in just a few hours. So you guys... sit back and relax today. You've got all kinds of stuff. If you're doing work in the garden, just put on both these. You're going to go right from here. We're going to go into the Urban Gardener podcast. We'll be on there at 2:45 Eastern time. And we're going to continue the sharing the knowledge and the information. Sam Potzik says, I hear a bit of clicking only when you talk. Yeah, we don't know yet. Okay. So yes, let's see here. Signal Loss says, but the horns say Viking. That's right. I know they do. So we're just going to roll with it because it's modern Viking. It's not historical seafaring warriors. I agree. Meyer Lemon says for the logo, maybe a little cleaner. That looks, there's a lot going on there. Right. It is. There is. And the beard's a little bit much, but we'll see. I know. Andrea Brown says you could cartoonize yourself with a Viking helmet. I'm thinking something like that. Yes, I'm thinking something like that. Okay. So guys, what do you think about the full screen being back? One thing you can see right away. Okay, look, guys, this pothos, all right, I was growing for about 2 years just in water. Okay. 2 years it's been going on just in water. Look at the roots on this thing. Okay. You see that? 2 years just in water, and it was not doing anything at all. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I added I mixed up some general hydroponics, micro bloom veg, the 3-part mixture. I mixed that up. Yes, they're chemicals, but it's for the indoor house plant, and that's what I use on the indoor house plants. So mixed up just a little bit, diluted and everything, and added just a splash of the general hydro, which typically would not be much at all. Just literally like so I didn't check the EC of it, but the parts per million. But as soon as I did that, the very next, throughout the next days, it sprouted up like this. It just boom, sprouted up. But also, it killed off this big old leaf. This huge leaf died off. That's right. So it's obviously helping, but it's also very sensitive to toxicities. But for 2 years it existed perfectly fine. It just didn't do anything because it was just in water. It didn't do anything except put down more roots. As soon as I added a little bit of that nutrients, boom, it grew, 7 inches, but then these died off. So look at that. So, that's the good kind of stuff to observe, observe, and then it tells us many things about the plant. So, guys, we've got all kinds of, signal loss. That's what I always believe. That's what I feel as well. It's redirecting its resources. Yes, I feel that way as well. These huge pothos that I have all over the place, 30, 35, 40 feet long vines all over the whole house, they do the same thing. So once when you fertilize them, they will sprout up and then drop off twice a year. In the beginning, in the spring and in the fall, about now, they will drop any of their leaves that are not necessary. And I've observed this the past 5 years growing these pothos, and it's always true. Okay, so that's right, RK. Out with the old, in with the new. Yes. Now, this is also true for the tomatoes. So many of you guys watched my last video that I put out where I gave you the garden tour. How, by my standards, it's just awful. Just an awful year for growing. Bone dry, hasn't really rained in 2 months, and it's just been full sun. So yeah, it's so the tomatoes, if you watch those. Now, one person commented on those about the tomatoes, said, no, it's not lack of rainwater, it's too rich of nutrients, because tomatoes, if it's lack of rain, will be up top. The top growth will wilt. But if it's toxicity, then the bottom leaves will die off first. Now, that's not abruptly untrue. That's true in certain circumstances. There's no black or white like that. So what it is when there's acute dehydration, meaning like if you have it in a 5-gallon bucket, or if you're growing in pots, or if you're growing in somewhere that without big mulch, if it's acute dehydration, the top wilts. This is true. But if it's long, drawn out dehydration like mine is, because I've got 6, 7, 8 inches of mulch over the whole place and it's still alive. If it's long, drawn out stress on the plant will drop the leaves that it no longer needs. And so if you go and you watch my last video and you go to the section where I'm doing the garden tour and you see the tomatoes, that's pretty much what tomatoes that are totally unpruned looks like. So as it gets later in the season, the foliage that has already been used to produce a fruit just dies off. The plant naturally drops that off, and it focuses all of its energies. When it's stressed as well, it will, all the unnecessary foliage, which there's a lot of it because we don't prune those tomatoes at all. We just plant them and let them go wild. So they get crazy huge and they produce bucket loads, literal bucket loads of tomatoes this year. So many, and I only have 4 plants. But now they are dropping all those leaves. So to the untrained eye, it might seem like, oh no, there's a big disease, but there's actually no disease on those tomatoes. It's actually very clean, very healthy. It's just dropping all of its old foliage and redirecting its energies. And so if you have tomatoes that might be the same, watch closer that section of the video and you'll see that's kind of what unpruned tomatoes look like. All right. So Cinnamon Bear says this, check this out, guys. Look at that. Cinnamon Bear says this new view is so good, very sharp. Yes, that's what we want. Guys, there's all kinds of good options available now. I mean, I've only had it since yesterday. Okay. So as we learn this software, we're going to have all different kinds of cool things. I can record video clips, which I'm going to do. I can record little video clips of the garden and upload them here prior to the live stream and then play them for you right now. So when I was talking about my tomatoes, I could just cue the video that shows you the tomatoes, exactly what I'm talking about. And so I'm going to obviously utilize those tools because wouldn't that be really helpful for learning purposes if I could then cue the exact video that shows exactly what I'm talking about at that time? I think it's wonderful. The Urban Gardener says StreamYard is great. Yeah, thank you, because you're actually the one that turned me on to it. I know they're promoted heavily by the YouTubers and stuff, but you know, everyone's promoting what they get paid for typically, you know. So that's why we don't promote anything but our own stuff here. But the StreamYard turned out to be, I mean, it's user friendly. That's what I need. It's user friendly. I don't need to go in there and write code and all this kind of stuff, but oh, that's right. Cinnamon Bear says, don't forget the super chat. So this thing has a system where I can just go and click the starred ones and it shows me, look at that. It keeps track of all of the super chats. And so I'll never miss another super chat because I will just periodically go to the starred ones. Am I blowing this mic out? Does everything sound all right? But look, so see how easy it is? And then I pull it up on screen. Alex Forgay, $10. Thank you, my friend. Says, good morning, Nate. I had my calcium in the garage, which got really hot and it formed like a gel. Should I toss it and make some new and put in the fridge, or fish out the gel type stuff maybe? So I'm wondering why, that can happen. It's a chemical suspension, so it's not really like it doesn't unless you didn't roast the shells properly, so if you made it, the last short that I made about how to make the calcium really quickly, we powder the eggshells, in the blender, and then we make it real fast. We don't cook them or anything like that. So it simplifies it, but you have to use it within a few weeks. It doesn't stay good because it's the protein membranes inside the egg and things that make it spoil. So I don't think that the heat is what did that. I think it's contaminants in your eggs probably. But it's easy enough to make. I would just start over. Just start over. It's not that difficult to get the appropriate amount of eggshells, I would just start over. Yeah, because I can't really say. I don't know exactly what happened and all of that. But if in doubt, with all these natural homemade ferments, if in doubt, just start over. Okay? Because it doesn't cost you much, so it's easy. So look, then I can go like that and take that off the screen. Yes, okay, Donald Hughes, before I even came on, thank you very much, my friend. $5 via PayPal. Says, September dues to the Viking knowledge. Thank you, my friend. Which brings up a point that I have to talk about after I acknowledge Brian Airy, $5. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your continued support. Says, looking great, my Viking friend. Yes, awesome. This is what we want. We want it to be good and clean and sound good and crisp. Oh, yeah? You think that it's the voice, the sound of my voice? Now, I can turn this down, of course, if I need to, the crackling. Oh, hello, Tegan. Says, it sounds fine, Nate, from Tegan. Okay, hello, my friend. I look forward to hanging out with you later. We're going to go maybe catch some snakes. Maybe there's some crawdads in that creek. I don't know. We'll see. But So the what was I gonna say? What was it bringing up the point? The point that gets brought up. Okay. The channel memberships, guys. YouTube is pressing, really pressuring really hard. They're pushing these channel memberships. Like they've been hitting me up for months now. Hey, turn on channel memberships. Hey, here's the benefits of using channel memberships. That's how it started. Like, we think you're an ideal candidate for channel memberships. Okay, 5 of those emails, and then I just never do it. And then it's like, hey, you need to turn on channel memberships. You're missing out on revenue. Turn on channel memberships. And 5 of those emails go by, a couple of months, and now they're like, hey, turn on the memberships. Okay. So they're really pushing it, and channels that don't have memberships are not going to be pushed as much because they're a business, YouTube, and so they're going to push those kind of channels that are on board with getting the most revenue. So I'm turning on channel memberships. Now the question is, and watch this. Okay. Let's see. Okay, look at this. I can put that on the screen. I typed that prior to the live stream. So channel memberships are here. And what perks would you guys like to see for a small monthly donation to the channel? So yes, YouTube's really pressuring me to get members. That's why we're doing it. I resisted it for a long time, but I need to do it. So the memberships, if any of you guys are members to other channels, it's basically just like you click a certain level. I set the rates like $2, $10, $25, different tiers. And it's just a monthly recurring donation to the channel. But you can get certain perks, So what would you guys like to see as far as that goes? Different perks, Now, I don't know exactly what perks. I mean, most channels are like, they do members only live streams, but I could not imagine not having all you guys here just because you didn't want to be a paying member, So, but maybe we'll do maybe the members will have impromptu, there can be additional live streams, but not on a set day and time, but just like impromptu maybe, or something. So what are some things that you guys would like to see as far as memberships? Okay. So you got to let me know. And what would you guys be willing? What are the price points? I'm probably going to do like a $2.99, just for people, so you can be a member, and get like the badges and stuff. And then like a $9.99 for people, a next level, and then like a $25.99 for the ballers. And those people will get something extra, I don't know what yet, but something extra, of course. So maybe like a twice monthly members only live stream where all your questions can get answered because there will only be a handful of people, something like that. I'd be willing to do that. The cooking videos. Yes, that's a good idea. But I also, man, those are so much work, and to only release them to a small amount of people. I don't know. They're a lot of work, those videos. Blue Wolf says members only Q&A would be great. I think that's probably what's going to happen. So like the 2 top tiers will get the members only Q&A, so that if you've got your questions each month, you just keep them written down. We'll do like a twice month. Val, how much does YouTube take? 30%. Yeah, 30%. That's right. You got to pay the man. Lucas says, hey, Nate, it's my daughter's 11th birthday. Could you say happy birthday to her? Her name is Kaya. Kaya, is that right? Happy birthday, Kaya. Yes. Happy birthday to you. Okay, you get the point. Happy birthday, Kaya. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope Lucas has something fun planned. Maybe you're going to go to Sky Zone Trampoline Park. Maybe she's into going to the river and catching crawdads, or going fishing, or maybe she, I don't know what. Maybe she wants to watch Garden Like a Viking live stream, which would be a good sign. So the, yes, Sam Potzik, you get some of the cool emojis. Yes. Now I don't know exactly how much they how much they take actually. So I'm thinking its max would be 30%, but we'll see. We'll see. But you know what? I'm fine with that though. I'm literally fine with that because YouTube is allowing me to do all this. I mean, YouTube is the platform that enables all of this. So I really have no problem paying that 30%, truly. So yes, RK says more profits. Like and subscribe won't be enough. I know. I know. It's the way they're doing it though, and they're just not going to promote channels that don't do it, you know? So you either get on board or you get left in the dust. That's pretty much it. It's kind of like the AI thing. You know, everyone's wanting to resist the AI, but it's like, okay, well, the AI gives people a competitive advantage. And so if you don't get on board with learning how to use the AI and the technology, you'll just be left in the sunset. That's it. And the other people will have a greater advantage over you and they'll be promoted instead. So you got to make your choice. Do you want to just get left in the dust, or do you want to utilize the new things and learn how to use them in line with your own values? That's the key. So, ooh, Mom Computer says top tier gets to see the other half of we. Whoa. Top tier could get a once a month dual Q&A. Yes. This could be true. Yes. Dav, yeah. Cinnamon Bear, yeah, I'd rather pay Nate directly. I know, me too. That's what I like you guys doing. Definitely, I appreciate all of that. Definitely, and that's what I prefer as well. But you know, if you're doing the memberships, you're promoting the channel. Okay, so that's what we like. That's what we need. So Brian Airy, okay, everyone gets the same content, but you donate to what you can afford. I might just do that. I might just do that because we've got enough good-hearted people in here that they will just do that, you know? So, ooh, yeah, Jeff, members only weekend at the Viking farm for instructions and meals. Oh, man. Once we get the ranch, guys, there's going to be all year long, there's going to be retreats going on. There's going to be 2-day, intensive, come learn how to make aerated compost tea like a master for like 3 days or something. Accommodation will be all there and everything like that. Yeah, it's going to be the real deal for sure. And so you guys can come. We'll have over the winter, we'll have retreats and stuff, sauna, therapy, contrast, ice bathing, breathing techniques, that kind of stuff. Oh, yes. So the, let's see here. The Ms. P says, Tammy, he is still providing free information and plenty of it. I filled a notebook just from Nate's videos. Yes, thank you. Absolutely. It's all still, of course, guys, it's all still to the masses. It's all still, but people are real sensitive to that now, oh, he's sold out. Everybody wants to try and get money from me, and it's very real, that concern. So I get it. But not here. No. Not here, but it is totally reasonable, though, to expect that somebody who is a professional at what they're doing now will receive compensation for their time, of course, and YouTube AdSense isn't doing much, But anyways, let's talk about some, let's get some questions, okay? Signal loss. Would prefer a whole amount, $3 or $10. Okay, good. Yes, we'll do that. Yes. We'll do that. Hans Ketchup and concerts. Kind of concerts, yeah. Drum circles and stuff like that. Absolutely, yes. Donald Hughes. So get the cheapest membership and still donate through PayPal. That's the way to do it. Yes. So just be a member. So for like $2 a month, I'm going to set the lowest one at $2. All right. So that everyone hopefully can be a member if you're connected like that. If you're not, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. But yes. And then if you want to still donate through PayPal, you can. But more importantly will be just if you require fertilizer, buy it from the Viking granular fertilizer operation that will be going. If you need to shop on Amazon, then do it just through the links in the description, through the Viking storefront. Yes? Check this out, guys. Watch. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. Look at that across the bottom of the screen. So they got all kinds of things. So I think I need to get this is a joke, but I think I need to get on the TikTok train. We need to have different banners going this way, one up top going that way, one going sideways across the middle, and then we need flashing strobe lights in the background with music pulsating. Don't you think? That's how we keep the attention of the TikTokers, is stuff like that. So that's a joke. But you see, though, how that's kind of useful. So we're exploring these different tools. This is the first time, so I appreciate you guys. And look what we just got. We just came in. I'm just doing a test run. So if you guys have not ordered the walking onions yet, or you did just in the past couple of days, then you can let me know if you want one of these put in there with it. I might just try and put them into every one, but we'll see. But it's a Garden Like a Viking sticker, so we got to let people know that we are part of the tribe. Okay, this is important. So yes, this is the very beginning. This is the OG. This is the original batch. So they're going to evolve from here, yes, but this is what we got now. Okay, because you just got to make something happen. We just got to make something happen. So Taida, good to see you, my friend. Says, I'm stoked to try that Viking fertilizer. Yes, definitely. It will be available in January. But I can say for sure that we are not going to be doing orders like we are now. We're not going to do anything else as far as taking orders until we have an actual website that can process through some kind of widget plug-in program that can process this stuff. Because I've learned my lesson with the onions. Most of everybody is fine, but it's people are so accustomed now to the instantaneous, Amazon shopping where you click, order, boom, email, confirmation, boom, email shipped, boom, it's there by 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, boom, done, instant, boom. I get it. I also shop on Amazon. I'm an Amazon Prime member, but we're not like that, okay? Do you remember back in the day when you had to like mail order stuff and it was like, okay, you'll get it in 4 to 6 weeks from the Sears catalog. Now, it's not going to be 4 to 6 weeks, but look, we get the orders, okay? And so I put a list, I go in there and I type out a list, and a physical list. I hand it to my uncle, and one by one, he harvests them. He hand writes your address and the return address. We don't even have labels and stuff. And he mails them one by one from the post office. So I'm getting kind of blown up by emails about, hey, we didn't get an order tracking confirmation number and all that. And I get it, guys, but this isn't that kind of thing. This is like organic grassroots. We're just selling the stuff from our, the back of our house. Okay. So you guys are at the ground floor of all of this. Okay. So just, hopefully you can understand that. Okay. So it's not like we don't do 10,000 orders a day where we just got all this tracking info and stuff. Just chill. If you made the payment, especially electronically, if you made the payment, you will get your onions. Okay. How about all you guys that have already got the onions? Why don't you give a thumbs up or you give some love or something like that? Because tons of people have already got them. Okay. So, yeah. Yes, Terry Asislo says YouTube seems to push memberships when they start losing money from advertisers. Yes, that makes sense. Tsunami Tommy, I'll put that sticker on my truck. Put on in with my onions. Tsunami Tommy, okay, I will if we haven't shipped yours yet. But we will. Yeah, I'm going to bring a whole stack of these because we're going to go see my uncle this afternoon. So I'm going to bring a whole stack of these, and I will let him know which ones to put it in with. I think in the future, we're just going to put stickers with every order of everything is going to have stickers. But for now, you guys are at the ground floor of all this, okay? So thank you for being patient. So yeah, Venice Weeks says, unfortunately, I cannot order the walking onions due to living in Australia. Same as I cannot order the thriving fertilizer. That's right. Yes. Because we actually got 2 orders from the UK and it cost the entire amount to ship it, just to ship it. So we're just taking a major loss on that. Kind of a loss. We're just not making. We're just going to eat that, because I didn't specify. And even shipping to Canada is twice, 3 times the shipping that it is continental US. So we don't like to ship to Canada and the UK. We can, but it's got to be like 60 or $70. I know. So Taida, thank you, my friend, says, I would love to help with the website if you have need of that. Well, I'm going to use Squarespace. Yes, I'm going to use Squarespace. So that's it's the most user friendly, and it has the most thing, and I can make video courses through that. So we're going to make video courses that can then people can purchase. The just simple things, but like a beginner gardener course where all the videos and the knowledge is organized perfectly. So that it's not just a bunch of random YouTube videos that are difficult to organize. Things like that, things like that. Hans Ketchup says, Amazon can do that because they have a DMS, sequencing towers and sorting lanes, computerized ordering systems, etc. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. You guys got to remember, okay? It's back. Let's see here. Yeah, it's back like the mail order catalog stuff. Okay, so just chill. You're gonna get it. I guarantee it. But I understand everyone's trained on the instantaneous confirmation to your email and all that. So am I. But it's just different. Okay. Queen RB says the scrolling is distracting, but I understand. What are you talking about? On here? Are you talking? Oh, you mean down here? Okay, let me turn that off. That only needs to go on for a little time. How about this? I changed it now. Garden consultations are available now. Huh? Yeah, the scrolling is a little distracting, but let's just try and get used to it a little bit, okay? We'll just keep rolling with it. Hans Ketchup says, yeah, be careful about memberships. If you take away things from others and only give it to members, you'll lose viewers. It's true. It's very true, which is, sort of why I haven't done it yet, but I also just don't really, that's just not how I roll anyways. But at the end of the day, if you're doing it for a business, then, okay, if you lose some viewers, but you're gaining revenue, how are we going to finance the land? How are we going to finance all that? We have to direct all of that now to, okay, how can we finance the land? That's what it's all about. And so you have to ask yourself that. Okay. So I'm going to turn the banner off for a little while. Okay. There. So let's see here. Maniac. Hey, Nate, did you get my email? We would love some stickers. I'm sure that I did. You sent it. Probably. You can definitely send it again. I'll look and respond to it here after this. Definitely. Matthew Wynn says, what's the difference in use between the aerated compost tea versus the JMS? That is a great question. Okay. What's the difference between the aerated compost tea versus the JMS? Now, they're both microbial brews. But they're done quite differently. And they're both actually aerobic. It seems like the JMS is anaerobic, but that's not really the case. There's enough dissolved oxygen in the water itself to facilitate the growth of the microorganisms. And we know this because fish, many of you guys have gone fishing, fish breathe air. Fish breathe oxygen just like we do. Okay. And so when you go fishing, you can put a fish in a bucket, when you catch some, and they'll survive in that bucket for quite some time because there is dissolved oxygen in the water. Okay. And so that is why the JMS still is aerobic. Okay. Not in the same way that the compost tea is, the aerated compost tea, but it is. And so the JMS, I never like to put it on the leaves anymore. I like to put only the aerated compost tea on the leaves. And the aerated compost tea, actually, in my recipe, is everything. It's got the fish fertilizer in it. It's got some labs in it. It's got some calcium if you need it or if you want it. It's got some, if you want to put some banana fertilizer, the phosphorus type bloom fertilizer, you put that in there after the brew is done. You can add other things. And it's got molasses. It's got more food for things. And in my experience, it just gives better results. It just gives better results. So over the years, and I've noticed this because you can apply the aerated tea foliarly on the leaves. And so the plants just perk up. They just super perk up. Okay. So there's a lot of debate about, well, the soil is always at capacity. The amount of microorganisms in the soil is always at maximum capacity based upon their food. So when you add microbes to the soil, it doesn't mean that now you have more microbes. It means that they will eventually, before long, die off. And this is accurate. So that's why I always say that you want to create the conditions that are appropriate for more microorganisms. Good aeration in the soil, high organic matter of the right kinds in the soil. These kind of things allow the proliferation of the microorganisms. And then we introduce the microbes and they thrive. But even without knowing all that, you can just anecdotally and from experience see the results. When you apply aerated compost tea made properly, the plants love it. They burst with life. They do. It's the only thing that has kept this garden alive through 2 months of no water and blazing suns. Okay. So I hope that helps. Look at Brian. He's just a wonderful supporter, energetically, financially, energetically, across all of the channels. So I wonder that. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Says Nate, if I have it, you have it. You've brought peace to my life. Guys, peace is what it's all about. And he's talking a lot about the Thrive Like a Viking. Every Monday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, we do a live we do a live discussion. So I hope that they answered the question. The JMS is more of like now I will be adding, once I redo the beds this year, I will be adding multiple applications of pure JMS over the winter time. I'll be heating it in the basement, dropping in a 55-gallon drum, dropping the sub pump into there, pumping it out into the garden beds. Cause it's more like a, amendment. It just sets the microorganisms right without adding too much molasses and other things to the soil during the off season. So you have to learn how to make all of it, but you only use them at certain times. So we're going to add the straight applications in the off season to help heal the soil from the tillage and all the things that we're going to be doing. Small scale life. That's a good, says so true. It takes money to make all this magic happen. So consider the donations, crowdsourcing the operation and future plans. As a guy who bought and sold a little farm, I get it. I'll sign up. Nice. See, as a guy who bought and sold a little farm, I get it. So he understands that it takes money. The whole thing just takes money. I mean, as much as we would just like to, hey, I'll just make free video and we'll just continue doing this. And then, okay, well, how are you going to get the land? How are you going to get the bobcat that you're going to obviously need to have a bobcat to do all this, the work and stuff yourself? How are you going to get all that? So without money, you're not going to get it. So you got to figure out how to do it. Jason Heddy, I don't think they have. I don't think yours have. So, guys, I'm going to go through and, well, Jason, I'll send you some anyways, because you're right here in Indiana. But yours hasn't shipped yet, I'm pretty sure. So, Teats Treats says, I ordered 2 weeks ago. How far out are you on shipping walking onions? I'm not tweaking out or mad, just asking for a friend. I get it. So yours will be coming this week. Okay. So we're about halfway done with the orders. And so, but we're, like I said, I mean, cause we had like 50 orders to fill before I even started taking new orders, you know what I mean? So, But anytime in the month of September or October is perfectly fine to plant these onions. Okay, so you will get yours pretty soon. Teats Treats, thank you for the $5 donation. That makes it acceptable that you asked the question that I just explained. Don't ask, but but look at this. I wanted to show you. Is yours been doing this? Look, it's like putting out some kind of flower stalk. Is it supposed to do that? What's going on? So I'm just curious. This thing is definitely loving life. It's got dew all over the place. You see? It's got dew all over the place. And but that little flower stalk, is that what that is? Has yours done that? And is that gonna, what do I do with that? Should I cut that off? But they're growing. This is a carnivorous plant that Teats Treats sent me from his little greenhouse in Northern California, barely Northern California, San Francisco. So I think why it's wigging out is because it's actually receiving sunlight here, direct sunlight. And I know from spending a lot of time in San Francisco that there's not a lot of intense sunlight actually in San Francisco. So maybe that's why it's kind of wigging out a little bit. So let's see here. Let us see here. Big Will Dog, what's up, my friend? Says Nate, would a sub-irrigated system incorporated into your new garden also help ease watering issues? I have to fill mine one time a week. Now, yours is really good for your setup. So I'm gonna go, I mean, yours is ideal for your setup because I've seen it. I've been to your house. So I know. And that's ideal for your setup. Now, for my setup, that's not going to be, so there's many factors that are going to come into coming into play with this. Now, a lot of people have said, okay, so they watched the video that I made about there's not much rain here anymore. All the grass is crispy brown and stuff. So what a lot of people just think, okay, so desert gardening now. So you need to make sunken beds. You need to make, waffle style gardening, Hopi, desert type gardening and stuff. Water conservation. Now, yes, that's one level of truth, but actually here in northern Indiana, we can still get a tropical spring and summer. I mean, we still can get tons of rain and will for sure in the future. But as a whole, it is drier and drier and drier, and I'm just done with it. And so these new beds are going to be so resilient that they can handle not flood, but they can handle monsoon rains, but they also can handle drought. They also can make it easier to irrigate. Yes, we will have to irrigate with the drip lines, of course. But this setup is going to be exactly how I was doing it in California with great success. And so it can handle, because it drains really freely and it helps to keep the root system cool. So there's going to be all kinds of parameters that I'll explain to you guys as to why we've chosen this exact setup, as opposed to sub-irrigated beds or opposed to sunken beds or as opposed to the clay pots and all kinds of great suggestions that are good in certain situations. But as far as here, not so much. Mom Computer says, Nate, so sell your stickers for $2. Lots of work though. Have the other half of we help you. Yeah, well, she also has a life and job and full-time thing going on. So, that's, but in the future, definitely it will be there will be, I'll be able to ship out stuff like this, but I don't have the infrastructure to just ship out a little sticker. You know what I mean? But not at this point, but there will be stickers when we're selling like other stuff. There will be stickers, we're making it all up as we go along. Ooh, nice. Okay, so looks like Teats Treats, your order shipped Friday. Okay, so see, good thing that you asked. Okay, so look, there we go. That's my uncle right there. So you can direct everything towards him. Okay, your order shipped Friday. So there we go. Let's see, Smalls, you're killing me, Smalls. Okay, you have to email me your address or what payment method did you use? I know I'm just complicating things and stuff right now, but we're just how else are we gonna do it? Okay, we just got to do it. If you want a sticker, send me your email, and if we haven't shipped your thing yet, then I will do it. Okay. So Ear Liffy says, I often wonder about the use of sea salt for JMS and other preparations and the sodium going into the ground. Am I overthinking the antagonism of the sodium in the soil? You're not overthinking it at all. And that's a very real concern over time. And that's actually, it's the sodium that is the reason I don't apply it to the leaves. 'Cause I just felt like it doesn't, I've many of you that know me at this point know that I just have a natural ability at just reading the plants, feeling the plants, reading the plants, seeing how they respond to certain things. This was my life for several years in Northern California. Very high stakes. It's not like just having a garden. Oh, well, if they die, it doesn't really matter. No, your life depends on this crop. Okay. So it's totally as high stakes gardening as can possibly get. It cannot get higher than that. Okay. So you have to make it work. And so you learn to observe these plants and to observe the slightest little fluctuation in the way that they respond, because the plant is an expression of its environment. So it's an expression of the soil, also what goes onto its leaves, the humidity. It's an expression of the environment because it operates more like a program, more like a computer program based upon the inputs. A living, breathing, growing computer program. I mean, way far beyond any type of computer program that we have developed. But it's like that in the sense that it takes the inputs and it does what it's supposed to do with the inputs. So it doesn't fail. It doesn't have a temper tantrum and just decide to act a different way, because the blueprint is encoded into it to act a certain way. And so, so you can, whoa, how'd that bubble just pop up there? Are you guys seeing that? So you can learn things about the plants by reading them, everything you need to know. And so this is what I'm going to make a course about: how to read the plants like an expert. Grower from Northern California, but how to read the plants. And so I just noticed that when you apply JMS, when I would apply JMS over the years, foliarly, they didn't like it. They just it kind of made them curl a little bit. And when they curl, when they curl down, it's trying to tell you certain things. When they curl up, it's trying to tell you certain things. And through thousands of different plants and experimentation, I learned what it's trying to say. So that is why my opinion and experience is that JMS is for the soil, and it's for amending the soil, really healing the soil. The aerated compost tea is for robust, vigorous growth, because there's nutrients in it, and the plants, once they get hit with that, they just boom, just erect leaves, praying up towards the sky, thick stalks. Everything you want out of the plant is in the aerated compost tea, made in the Viking way. Okay, not just compost and molasses. Okay, one thing that this program is not doing is it doesn't update. It doesn't keep me live on the comments, so the comments aren't moving for me. So I'm way behind. I'm way behind. Teats Treats. It produces two ways. One is flowers. One is shooting up new plants out of the base. Your plant is very healthy. Nice. Wonderful. That's what we like to hear. It's definitely been, it's amazing to watch this plant, because I have no experience previously with carnivorous plants, but it is amazing to watch this thing because it attracts to it only the things that it knows it can catch. As far as I understand at this point, I've never seen big flies land on this thing. I only see little gnats, little fruit flies and stuff. And there's tons of dew on it. You see all that dew? They just get trapped up in that stuff. So I wonder how big these can get. So if you guys have any carnivorous plants, go ahead and send them to me because I'm getting into them. So if you want to send them to me, I would love that. We will put them in the grow tent downstairs over the winter. I've decided that that's what we are gonna do, is put them in the grow tent over the winter. Yeah. Sam Potsix, should I order more onions just for a sticker? You could, but that's not necessary. We'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out. I want to make sure. I want to get you a sticker. I mean, why don't you just send Sam? Because I mean, you're an avid member of the tribe, contributor. Just send me your address. I mean, you already ordered onions and stuff. Just give me your address again, and if we can swing it, I'll put like 2 or 3 stickers in there because I know that you'll find a good place for them. We're gonna do some kind of competition. In a giveaway, like a free. I'm going to give away buckets of the granular in the early spring, late winter, early spring, and one of the contests is going to be show me the most creative way to display your Garden Like a Viking sticker, something like that. Take a picture of the most creative public way to display the Garden Like a Viking sticker, but that means everyone's got to have stickers. So we're going to figure out something about that. Okay, don't worry. So let's see here. Let's see. Okay, okay. Yeah, Sam Potsik. Nate's having flashbacks. I know. Mom Computer, man, you are on it. It says Jenny moved some time ago. It is not her. Yeah, she moved. She's out of state, man. Jenny was a very dear friend of mine. Still is, of course. But she has gone off she now lives in North Carolina, Asheville, in like the mountains. So she's on her adventure. Yes. Now, Big West, I do understand that. Says sea salt is natural. In its salinity, things grow in the ocean. We use it to reflocculate and remineralize. Absolutely. Yes, we do. We do. That's why I still include it. But that's why I only put it into the soil. I don't, like I said, I've observed that the plants don't like to be sprayed really with any JDOM stuff. They really don't. I mean, the soil loves it, but the spraying of the leaves is a whole different ballgame. So let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna go. Let me get to the beginning. Meyer Lemon says, Nate, I would love a read the plants class. Speaking of that, well, yeah, it'll be like a read the plants as though your life depends on it, because at one time it did. That kind of thing. So speaking of that, I'll try to ask my question one more time. When are the cicada sweet melons ready to pick? Well, okay, you saw from my video that I brought in some manure that was contaminated. And I thought that this was a very safe bet, and the person, because they responded like they knew what they were a friend of mine, they responded, oh yeah, no, it's not, their feed's not been sprayed with anything. No, 100% organic. But then I come to find out that they just kind of wanted me to clean out the stall. They didn't really know that. They were just assuming that because they're just assuming. So all the signs and symptoms of a little bit of contamination. So they're not happy, but we still did get some cicadas. We got some maduras, which are both delicious. But the cicada, you will feel it. So it will get a darker green. It may get some stripes on it, but you will feel it. And once it starts to get just a little bit soft, that's when both the cicada and the maduras are pretty much best when they almost fall off the vine. Almost rotting is when they're the best. So sweet. Oh my gosh. And the cicada can be eaten. The cicada can be eaten. Okay. The skin can be eaten on the cicada. Yeah. This comment threw me off. Okay. Grow All Year says carnivore plants need dormancy. Not sure if grow tent is a good idea. Oh boy. Okay. So what does that mean? What does that mean? So, ooh, yeah. Everybody look at that. Okay. Let's see here. Matthew Hopkins, $25. Thank you very much, my friend. Land Fund Contribution. Thank you very much, Matthew. $25 via PayPal. And yes, guys, I am actually extraordinarily frugal. The only thing I spend money on is things to further the enterprise, and learning things so that I can do different things, to make more content, to learn more things. It's all about that. I become obsessed in that way. So that type of mentality used to lead me into sort of unhealthy situations, but I've since learned to redirect that sort of energy to constructive things. So I appreciate that. It will go into the land fund. Gary Smith, thank you, my friend, for your consistent contribution. $25 via PayPal. Says, keep up the good work. Can't wait to see new garden videos. I like the new format and we'll do a membership to support you. Thank you, my friend. Definitely. But I'm feeling like I like the idea because I'm thinking guys like you, I appreciate the PayPal donation. Definitely. So maybe we'll just do like a small, just so I can get a bunch of members. So YouTube would be like, hey, he's got a bunch of members. I'll just make it like $2, or have a $2 tier and like a $10 tier, and that's it. Or just a $2 and just get as many members as we can get. That's what we might do. Yeah. Ooh, Masabi Ga, listen to this. How about sending a self-addressed stamped envelope and a donation for a sticker? Definitely, guys. If you do that, you can definitely, or just even the envelope is good. If you want that, but a donation would be wonderful as well. That sounds like those old, watching like TV in the middle of the night when you're a kid. If you want blah blah blah, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to blah blah blah. You know, that's But yeah, do that. Self-addressed stamp envelope and a donation or whatever, and we will get you a sticker. Okay. So, and let me know, should they be bigger? Should they be full-size bumper stickers? Or because you can put this wherever, and the name itself is people are gonna be like, what? Garden Like a Viking? What are you talking about? So, and we'll have the logo in the future and stuff. But if you get these first couple hundred, then you are part of the original crew because these are the OG stickers. Okay. Let's see here. All right, Gary Smith. Walking onions. Thank you, my friend. Okay, for Egyptian walking onions. Got you. What? Oh, I didn't realize that. That's where you live? Well, that's pretty cool. Yes, and you're going to get one of these as well. Okay. So thank you, my friend. Uh, grow all year. Okay, Teach Treat says fact that the carnivore plants need dormancy. Well, what does that mean now? Emperor Penguin, slurp into the mic some more. I'm sure you're being sarcastic, but I'm still getting comments about, can you please stop slurping in the microphone? I have to turn it off. Well, that's what it is, my friends. It's why it's so okay, let's see here. Have you ever grown chocos? No, I have not. Masabi Gal says, so does spraying with aerated compost tea stress the leaves like JMS? No, the opposite. It makes them perky and helps to crowd out other pathogens. Definitely beneficial. Definitely. Yes, Sam Potzik, do that. Just send a self-addressed stamp envelope. What? Let's see here. Okay, let us see. So there's so many comments. Guys, now, one thing that has happened is that we have run out of current Tahitian melon squash seeds, but we haven't run out totally. So guess what? If you order your onion seeds from here out, you are going to be getting seeds from this, literally from this melon here. Okay? Literally from this melon. Because we're out of most of the others. So I've got this and one more. And so we're going to cut it open right now. This is from last year, guys. Last year. Now, it's probably, well, we'll see. We're going to cut it open right now. And we're going to use it with our handmade cutting board, the Indiana walnut cutting board. Yes, they might be available sometime. My uncle makes them by hand. So let's see here. We are going to cut this thing apart. Okay. Man, am I way behind on the comments? Okay. VA Green says, I know time is tight, but maybe a 1 hour members only meeting once a month. I like that. I mean, that's not a bad idea, you know, so to the people, but it'll be like a tier. Or are you talking about just everybody? Maybe do that. Yeah. I just don't want to exclude anybody from our meetups. You know what I mean? That just doesn't feel good. But we'll come up with something. We'll be coming up with something. Thank you, Brad Armstrong. Thank you. Everybody read that comment, okay? So here we are. We're going to open this thing right here live, okay? And you guys are going to get the seeds from this. So first thing I'm going to do is cut off the neck. So I'm going to cut off the... Ooh, yeah. Okay, look at that. We can see that after a full year, I mean, in just a couple weeks, it'll be a full year. It's getting a little bit desiccated on the inside, a little bit pithy, okay? But that's still perfectly edible, okay? So let us go ahead and cut off a little bit more. So here's how you eat these things, guys, okay? So you go like this. So you're going to cut the top off, and then you're going to cut off, let us say a... Look there what the cat did. Ripped all that. Look, that's the cat's clawing post. Okay. Now, you're going to take the Tahitian melon squash and eat this as your meal. Okay. So this is what you will eat as the meal here, which will be delicious. And that's plenty for the meal. This is very heavy, if you guys could feel that. So we will take that and just, the way that I like to do it is to just, let me show you guys here. We're just going to go like this. Like this. Yes, it doesn't really matter. Right now, we're going to get a little bit more than I would if I was eating it, which we very well actually might eat this tonight when we go to my uncle's house. Okay, look at that. Okay, I don't know if I'll be moving that very often, but look at this, guys. So this thing is super nourishing, super delicious, and very good for you, and it stores for a year in the basement. Do I need to repeat that again? I mean, that's an amazing marvel of nature that it can stay like that. I mean, this thing is perfectly good, nice and slick. We could cut this thing up. You know what we're going to do? We're going to slice this and we're going to throw this on the skillet, on the grill tonight, because we're going to do some grilling. So we're going to throw this on the plancha, on the hot griddle. All right. Because Val says, how are you going to cook it? Yes, we're just going to take this thing and we're going to slice it thin, maybe like playing card, little half the thickness of a deck of playing cards. And then we're going to put it onto, you guys know what a Blackstone is? Blackstone, like one of those hot griddles. We're going to put it on that. And we're just going to with some lard, some good pastured lard, high in vitamin D. And we're going to put that on there. And then we're going to Do it until it's nice. You want to use really high heat, okay? You really high heat, and that's going to caramelize the sugars. There's so much sugars in these Tahitian melon squash that it will caramelize and make a nice crisp crust, okay? And then once we pull it off, we might add a small dusting of brown sugar, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg. Maybe even a dash of ground allspice. We'll see. We'll see. Or we could go the savory train and just do coarse sea salt cracked over the top. They're versatile. You know, that's what's so good about them. So, so Ms. P, okay, says, could send you a self-addressed stamped envelope for a sticker, question mark? Yes. Whoever suggested that, maybe it was Mom Computer. Whoever suggested that, yes, please do that. And I will, I mean, I know that's just making more work for myself, but I will do that. Because if you guys want a sticker to promote the tribe, then I'm all about it. I appreciate that so much that, yes, I will send you that. Big Will Dog's got a question. I need advice. I've already bought my garlic, not planting in pots yet, but am getting my castings and compost sifted. Should I go heavier on either and also use soil acidifier? More so than acidifier, elemental sulfur is the way to go. So use elemental sulfur and some azomite. I mean, you can if you want to already get these amendments, you know, but sulfur definitely. Elemental sulfur is going to be very beneficial for the soil, and especially for alliums, because alliums, what makes them, the way that they become really pungent so that your eyes kind of water, and when you eat the garlic, whoa, it's really, really spicy. That is the way that that plant processes sulfur and creates sulfuric compounds. So you want sulfur. Alliums take a lot of sulfur out of the soil. Let's see here. So Lisa T says, you can hire a 10 to 12-year-old to handle sticker mailings. I could, yes. I could. It would have to be the right 10 to 12-year-old, because the work ethic of, listen to how old I sound. The work ethic of this new generation is just nothing. When I was a kid, I was out at 11 years old mowing lawns. And this is true, though. I really was. Pushing the lawnmower around, driving my tractor, well, my dad's tractor. It was all my dad's stuff, of course. But I would go out, and every summer from the time I was 11 till I was like 17, I would mow lawns, you know, probably 15, maybe actually. But that's a long time when you're that age, you know. And I don't see kids ever doing that now. I've not ever seen a kid pushing a lawnmower around here doing that, okay? So here, now we're going to cut this open, okay? Get ready. Let me just make sure I do it safely so you don't... Okay. And the neck on these things is huge, okay? There we go. Let us just flip this thing around real quick, because I want you guys to know, well, I hope that the seeds are still good. Watch, I'm going to cut it open. They're all going to be black and moldy. No, it started to desiccate a little bit, definitely. But you know what? There's still a bunch of seeds in here. So here we go. Now this stuff, look at all those seeds. So if you order them from today onwards, actually, well, yeah, if yours haven't shipped yet, then you're going to be getting these seeds, literally. We got a couple more of them. So you're only going to get a few, but it's enough to grow a boatload of squash, okay? But do you see how big that neck is on these things? You know how much food, and this wasn't even a really huge squash. So the neck is that big. So you get a whole bunch of stuff. Now, if you grow a Tahitian melon squash and you like go to family Thanksgiving, it's really impressive to cut one in half like that and score it in cubes and then roast it whole. It just looks really picturesque. You know what I mean? So, yes, you will be getting this stuff. So I just wanted to do that so that you guys could see how nice the Tahitian melon squash really are. Let me see here what we got. Let's see. Okay, Val Thatcher, $7. Thank you, my friend. Hey, Nate, did the fish fertilizer with the brown sugar in March. The top layer of fish hasn't dissolved. A few months ago, I added more brown sugar. Should I try mushing it up or something? Add some liquid? Nope. In fact, you shouldn't really even have added the more brown sugar. Once you do equal parts plus another 10, 15% on top, that's it. You just leave it. Go ahead and mush it up, though. Go ahead and get it in the. If you did absolutely nothing, it will eventually dissolve, yes. But mash it up, get that liquid in there, and it will continue dissolving. Yes, that's not a problem. That's very common. So Jared, got you, my friend. Says, okay, onion seeds and sticker. Okay, got you. We will be sending all this stuff out, my friend. Oh, yes. Okay. Got you. Christine G. Got you. Okay. So, let us see here. Ooh, yeah. Lisa T says, roast the Tahitian melon squash, then stuff with Italian sausage, tomato sauce, lots of herbs, and cheese. Ooh. Val says, can I leave the fish fertilizer bucket outside all winter? Yes, so long as your container doesn't burst if it freezes solid. Yes, you can leave it outside. The microbes will be totally fine if that's what you are asking. Yes, they will be just fine. Okay, let's see here. I forgot. I got to use the banners, okay? So, let's see here. Ooh, there's a good comment. Check this out, guys. I have to take a drink real quick. My morning coffee still. Okay. If you guys have peppers, so I grow Thai dynamite peppers, Thai bird chili peppers. You could also have fish peppers. You could also have Tabasco peppers, which we've grown the past several years. We didn't grow any this year, though. There's many different kinds of peppers, but I like the Thai bird chilies because of how controllable, because of how small they are. So you can control the amount of heat that you want very precisely, like in stir fries and stuff. And it's a heat that comes on quick, but goes away quick. It's not like a jalapeno type heat or certain other types of heat, even poblano type of heat, where it gets and it just stays. The whole meal is just hot, just blazing hot. These will get hot, but then they drop off real fast. So that is one good thing that I like about the Thai bird chilies. Now, we've been using them all summer long, stir fries and all kinds of stuff. But the plant got to the point where it's time to harvest them. So harvest all of your, this is how I like to store them. Harvest all of your peppers, wash them, and then put them in this jar. And then mix equal parts of white vinegar or apple cider vinegar, but I prefer the white vinegar flavor. Equal parts of white vinegar and water, okay? And I use reverse osmosis for everything, of course. So equal parts vinegar and water. And then half of a cup to 3/4 of a cup of like a raw sugar or any kind of sugar, but I use raw sugar. And then 1 tablespoon of the sea salt. Mix all that together in a pot, bring it up to a rolling boil, and then simmer it for about 3 to 5 minutes till it thickens a little bit. Then take that and pour it directly over it as it's boiling. Pour it directly over it, put that lid on there, close it, and tip it upside down. And then it's going to hot pack. It's going to seal, which is fine, but you don't even need that really because that creates a really nice, delicious, sweet and spicy pepper. So all winter, then I will and I like to leave the little green part on them because that's how I'll pull them out. And that's how I cut them, holding on to the green part. And we will do that and cut them up and use them all winter long. So they're tangy and salty and sweet and very spicy all at the same time. Now, it's not like cowboy candy where we're going to pop these in our mouth and eat them. No. But this is the good way to store them. They'll store on the shelf, on the countertop, or in the refrigerator is better, but they'll store on the countertop for quite some time. So I highly suggest that, guys. Ooh. You won't be able to see the live Monday. Is there an updated version of the Master Cleanse? There is, actually. There is. But I don't promote this yet because I haven't created the course for it. But there is an updated version of the Master Cleanse. Now, I might have explained it on the Discord chat under the Thrive Like a Viking section under the topic of Master Cleanse. Meyer Lemon says, Big Will Dog, you should be good. I like Nate's azomite addition too. I'm going to seriously till in-ground bed, add that, elemental sulfur, and compost, plus nutrients. There you go. So if you're going to till, and which you'll see that that's what I'm doing as well this year here on this garden, we're going to take that opportunity to add wonderful things, mostly mineral things, like the azomite, which is 70 to 80, depending on who's counting, different minerals that the plants can utilize. So it's the microbes. If you have microbially rich soil, they will break down these minerals and really feed it to the plant. So azomite's a wonderful, and it's so cheap. I mean, relatively speaking. The shipping is very expensive though. So there's that. Also gypsum. Gypsum is a wonderful thing to add to the soil at that time. And for alliums, add some elemental sulfur as well. Yeah. Now, I want to explain a couple of things. First, let me get this bad boy out of the way. So if you guys are wondering about the Tahitian squash, here they are, okay? So this is a good chunk of food. Now, this is why we eat this stuff all winter long. These are the things meant to be eaten during the winter time, because in the summertime, it's all fresh, leafy greens, and beets and all kinds of stuff like that. There are lots of different kind of leafy greens. We're having stir fries. We're having basil we're having holy basil and Thai basil, all that stuff. Huge piles of it with some pastured ground pork and some of the Thai dynamite chilies. It's a Thai dish with some fish sauce, really good quality fish sauce, just sea salt and anchovies. And so we're having that all summer long. But then in the wintertime is when we eat the storage crops. So we will eat the squash. We will eat the potatoes. We'll eat the sweet potatoes, which, oh my gosh, guys. Just last night, look, I'm not going to be saying this to too many people because I need to get my order first because they're hard to find. But this is the first year I've grown successfully the Austrian crescent potato. And just last night, for the first time, we had some. And I was just blown away. I mean, almost, if you can't tell, it's almost speechless at how flavorful that potato was. Now, I got the suggestion from a guy whose opinion I value very much, says that the really high-end restaurants on the coast, East and West Coast, seek out this potato because of how gourmet the flavor is. And I didn't really understand. I mean, up to this point, the German Butterball is the standard by which I judge all other potatoes, and they all fall short until now. So the German Butterball, but the Austrian crescent, the flavor is unbelievable. And I'm a potato guy. I eat potatoes 5 times a week. I'm all winter long. I'm eating potatoes all the time. So, but I'm not going to be promoting that much. So you guys got that. Okay. I'm not going to be promoting that much because I don't want them to all be gone. I'm going to buy like 50 pounds of them next year. I'm going to do like 5 beds of these potatoes next year. So there's my rant about that. But, so yes, guys, you will get some of these, literally these seeds I just touched. You will get some. I mean, not like that is a big deal, but Let me put this away, and then I want to show you a couple of other things. So what are you guys thinking of the new platform? Is it going to work? Are you liking it? I'm feeling like it's going to work. And don't forget, we get a little bit of break after this one, and then we're going to go to the Urban Gardener podcast starting at about 2:45 Eastern time. We will be on there. He actually does the broadcast before that, but we will be on there at 2:45. There we go. What do you think about that? See? Use banners to summarize talking points and display calls to action. Okay, there's my call to action. Now, if just I can get some more streamers going across, and then I can get some flashing red lights in the background, what do you guys think? And I'll wear sunglasses and scream when I talk, and then we'll be more like some of the prepper channels and stuff. You like it? Okay, good. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. So, Rick says, look at her right now. Look at her just scratching up. Look at her looking at me. She says, what are you going to do about it? You ain't going to do nothing. Yeah, I know. So Rick says, note, by adding sulfur on your alliums, not to get it on the foliage. This is true. We're adding it to the soil only, guys. Sulfur, we're adding to the soil. Let's see, Big Will Dog. I would say, so heavier on the compost and castings. You can, except you're not really trying to get that growth out of them right now. But since you're growing in pots, I would go ahead, yes. But you also want to top dress. So in the springtime, because you obviously will mulch the garlic, in the springtime, pull that back, add a nice layer of that compost and then worm castings, put the mulch back down over it. Something like that. You'll want to restock it in the springtime. Definitely in a pot. Because if you're growing them in pots, I bet up until now you've had real small garlic. I'm willing to bet. Maybe not. Maybe you've perfected it, but I'm just saying, because garlic are hungry plants. Hungry plants. And see, this year, I went a little overboard, of course, last year and got fed up with the drought conditions. And so I essentially planted half of the garlic in a sunken bed because I was like, well, it just doesn't rain anymore. So I planted it in a sunken bed. And then we had a super wet early spring, super wet and cloudy early spring, and it flooded them out. And so they were only this tall. They started turning yellow. The ones that were in the sunken bed, the ones in the raised bed did amazing, of course. But the ones that were right next to them in the sunken bed, they got drowned out. They got root rot because they were in standing water. So see, that's why we have to make the most resilient technique possible. And that's what you guys are going to see. The most resilient technique possible. Man, this thing is so beautiful. It's some kind of clematis. Do you guys know what this is? It climbs up and it just started flowering. Oh my goodness. And they smell just so delightful, like summertime. And it's all over. I put up a little string over the back door and it just grows up the whole thing. So the whole back door is like covered in these thousands of these white flowers now. Super delicious and not delicious, but beautiful. Queen RB says, LOL at 5 beds of potatoes. Yes, LOL, but we're actually not joking because then we will be able to do the fall leafy greens after that. So I'm going to plant them early. Well, we'll see. I don't have it all totally decided on yet. But 5 beds of potatoes out of 12 actually is doable for me. Potatoes are my favorite crop. They're the most important thing. And they're the calorie crop. They're the thing every sustenance garden, every food security garden needs to be growing is potatoes, because that's where the calories are going to come from. If something happens and you have to survive off your garden for a little amount of time, you can eat nothing but potatoes and live and be perfectly fine for several months. I mean, they say up to a year or more. The potato is the only plant that you can eat exclusively. The human can exclusively eat and survive. because it's so full of minerals and carbohydrates, some proteins, but it's got all the good stuff that you need. And so I don't just eat potatoes. I also eat good meat from Jerry. And if you guys haven't watched that video yet, check out the video where we made the large scale aerated compost tea. If you guys are in the Indianapolis area or anywhere within like a 3 or 4 hour drive, I highly recommend hitting Jerry up, okay, for his beef. It's I think Bates Family Farm at Gmail or at yahoo.com. I put the email address in that video. So if you're in the area within a 3 or 4 hour drive of Indianapolis, well worth getting your beef from Jerry. Send him an email. I know he's got some going in here like next month. So you can get in on that. That's where I get my beef from. So I eat that beef that's raised consciously, very clean, very just amazing beef. So we eat that, but then we also eat potatoes. We also eat collard greens. We also eat the butternut, the Tahitian melon squash. We also, have peppers with our stuff. We also eat all kinds of other stuff. Meat and potatoes is the central pillar of it all, though. Yes. And like that, we feel amazing. We feel amazing. So, Mom Computer says, new format. Yay. Skip the flashing lights and the headache, though. Yes, I got you. Teats Treat says, so the other podcast isn't live? Yes, it is. We are going to go. He pre-records some of it. He's got like a whole show, that he does. But then he has a guest portion of it, which we will be doing. So that is what... that's what we're going to do. 2:45. Make sure the link is in the description of this video. So go into this description of this video and there's a link to that podcast. Now, he does his own thing for a while. So it's, he's got like some sponsors and stuff like that. So you can watch that if you want or not. But make sure you're there at 2:45 so that we can have a discussion. Let's see where it goes. Okay. Let's do something different that we don't normally talk about on here. That's what we want to do. Sylvia Flores says, no flashing lights. Keep it natural. That is a total joke, my friend. I would never do that to you guys. Venice Weeks, you don't have to be like the prepper channels. You are the channel. Thank you, my friend. That's my mentality exactly. We don't need to. In the future, other channels will be emulating this channel. Not like that matters, but still. So, yes. Okay. So Big Will Dog says, actually, no. The garlic you saw in February ended up rotting due to not enough drainage. Won't happen again this year. Yes, garlic is sensitive to that because it grows in the time when we get a lot of rain, in the late winter, early spring, when things are soggy. So you want to make sure that your garlic bed drains freely. This is important. Now, check this out, guys. So one thing we're going to do today is get these ready. Okay. So we are going to chop up some straw and, we're going to inoculate, then we're going to pasteurize it and we're going to inoculate, pink oysters. And then we're going to inoculate some buckets with the golden oysters. You guys can get this. The links are in the description. Use the code, whatever there is there, Viking something, for 10% off. And it gives me a little kickback. So that's helpful. Don't be intimidated. Last year, I found a much easier way than boiling the straw on the stove. Okay. So you put the straw in one of these onion bags. Okay. I'll put them in the Amazon storefront. You get like 10 of them for $12 or something. One of these nice, strong onion type bags. Stuff it full of straw. Okay. I'm going to make a video about all this, but listen to how easy it is. Then we're going to fill up a big tote with water. And then we are going to use just this simple hydrated lime. Okay. We're going to use simple hydrated lime. This was like $8. I mean, the stuff's cheap. And that's why I'm making sure it's cheap for you guys. And then order this I can't believe how much they've come down in pH pens. When I was back in Northern California, the pH pen was like $250, and it was by this real medical labs company and stuff. Now they've got these things for $9. This pH pen is $9 delivered. I don't know how that's even happening, but whatever. So you get you this pH pen. We're gonna use this hydrated lime and sprinkle it into the tote full of water until we get to the pH of 12.5. And that's it. Once we get to the pH of 12.5, we're going to take our bag of straw, dunk it in there, and submerge it overnight. And then we'll get up the next day, hang it until it reaches a certain level of dryness. And then we're going to mix the straw that is in here with these mushroom spawn, okay? With some of the mushroom spawn. And then after we mix it with the mushroom spawn, we're going to put it into our containers. And we're going to use these little buckets. You see, just food grade 5-gallon buckets. I just emptied this one from the previous grow, so I got to clean it. But we just stuff that spawn and the straw in here, put the lid on it, and let it colonize. Guys, that's all there is to it. And then they start growing out the side of these buckets. And they'll fruit for like 2 months. I mean, you get tons of mushrooms off these things. So it is so easy. Don't let it intimidate you. I will put out a video pretty soon. I'm going to record the whole process for you guys because last year I didn't record it, but I will this year. So you want to make sure that you get this stuff. Okay. It's going to be delicious. You can grow these indoors. It's super easy. Use the link in the description, yada, yada, all that stuff. I get a little kickback from them. But the main thing is that you're growing onions, and this is important. Cinnamon Bear says, I am intimidated by mushrooms, but I love them. Yes, but imagine how good you're going to feel when you've got a bucket that is producing these huge plumes of golden oyster mushrooms or blue oysters or red oysters or pink oysters, whatever you want. You pick them off, you're going to fry them up. Oh, man. Meyer Lemons, yeah, don't push it, my friend, okay? So I already name drop. I don't know exactly where to get them, okay? I don't know exactly. No, I'm being like that because this spring, it was hard to find them. Not that many places had the Austrian crescents. So if you can find a place, order them, although right now is the wrong time to be ordering them because you would have to then store them over winter. And I don't know yet how long they store, but of the fingerling type potatoes, supposedly they store the best. So we'll see. But I can tell you that flavor is beyond compare. Now, that being said, though, listen, we are going to the Viking North Garden this evening, and we're going to have some potatoes with dinner. And we're going to have some of the banana fingerlings, some of the French fingerlings, and some of the purple Vikings. We're just going to dig up a few of each, and we're going to do a taste test. We're going to have it just with butter and sea salt. Going to boil them, butter and sea salt, once mashed, just once mashed. There we go, in separate dishes, so we can do a direct taste test. And so we might have a better one. I don't know, but I'm a potato guy, and I was blown away. Okay, so I was all about it, and still am. So let's see here. Yes, get it. Just get into it, okay? Let's see here. Alex Forgay, $5. Thank you again, my friend. Says, so Nate, would it be best to store my calcium in the fridge or like room temperature? Because my garage gets really hot over here in Bay Area in California. What bay are you talking about? Not San Francisco Bay. But if you make it right, it should be fine. It should be fine at the room temperature. I mean, I keep it in the basement, which is 60 degrees, give or take year round, 55 in the wintertime, something like that. So, yeah, you can store it in the fridge, but you really shouldn't be having a problem. I mean, it's vinegar. So unless your eggs are really contaminated or with a lot of protein material, they shouldn't be, it shouldn't be going bad, just period. So if you have to store it for a long time, make sure you char them really good. You can even do it in the oven, 350 for, I don't know, an hour, something. Make sure they're charred. Make sure that all that stuff is burned off. Yes, it will smell like burning hair in the house. Um, Teats Treats. Oh, that's right. That's true. The city of San Fran is cool weather. The East Bay is hot. That's true. Yeah. Like Sacramento and stuff. I remember I'm going there a lot. Um, ooh. Let's see here. The Fabrizio. You should sell the tribe the Austrian crescents like the walking onion. Maybe. Maybe. But the walking onion is different though. The potatoes, probably not. Because we're not going to get into selling stuff like that. That's not where our energies are going to be best spent. I don't think. Well, and the more Austrian crescents I have, the more I will eat them. If I had 200 pounds, that would be fine over the winter. So we'll see. But Alex, you can put it in the fridge if you want. It won't hurt anything. So, okay. So, okay. Meyer Lemons. So coy. So coy. Love potatoes. Going to try to find some crescents next spring. Doing a taste test with French fingerling and Adirondack blues. All right. Yes. Let us know. So the Dorothy Fu says, please record the test in your video. Yeah, we'll do like a short. We'll do a short video about that. Yeah. Okay. So guys, we're going to jump off. It's been an hour and a half. So we are going to jump off and then it is 1:51 p.m. now. So in about 1 hour, okay, take a breather. And then in 1 hour, we're going to be back on the Urban Gardener podcast, which the link to that, to get into that, is in the video description here. So you guys need to come over there. I would appreciate if all you guys can come over and show some support, okay? Because Urban Gardener's doing all kinds of good stuff for the gardening community. So we got to support that kind of stuff, okay? So how can you do that? Come watch the podcast, comment, leave a comment, that kind of thing. That's all you got to do, okay? So, all right, guys. Well, thank you very much for the pioneering experience of the new platform. We like it. And we're going to be using it. So we're going to learn more things that we can do. And don't worry, I won't constantly have a banner going on. Or maybe I will. See, I just switched the banner. You want to help out the tribe? Do all your Amazon shopping through the Viking storefront link in the description. Okay, my friends, we will see you next. Actually, we'll see you in about 1 hour on the Urban Gardener channel. Link is in the description. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.